A good afternoon to you, East Texas. We do have some breaking weather here right now. We just got a tornado warning that is issued for areas in Henderson and Anderson counties right now. That does not yet include places like Smith County. So we'll zoom into some of these warnings for you, kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. So here is that warning for you right there, just to the east of Athens, in between Berryville and near the Pointer area. And we'll kind of look at some of those velocities for you, give you an idea of just what we're seeing, and definitely some rotation right there around the Pointer area. So if you live here in this area, that's where we're going to have the best rotation here with this particular storm. So things are certainly getting a little more active here across East Texas, and that is what we're currently looking at right now. This storm is going to be moving in the general direction of Tyler. So those of you in Noonday, White House, this is going to be moving just like that, in that direction. So we'll put this into motion for you and show you just what we're seeing. And it definitely shows those velocity signatures kind of tightening up right there between Pointer and Berryville, and that will move into Smith County here in just a little bit. But right now, it's kind of on the border between the Anderson County and Henderson County line. So those of you in Coffee City, Dogwood City, and eventually down over into Flint, Bullard, Noonday, y'all are all going to need to be paying very close attention to this weather as this storm is going to be moving in your direction. And then farther down the line, we do have another tornado warning. This is issued here for portions of Houston County. That includes Grapeland and Latexo down there in the northern section of Houston County. So we'll look at that reflectivity for you, put this into motion, and it shows that we certainly have some storms that are going to be moving into that direction. So the storm, it's not currently raining right now in portions of northern Houston County, but this is kind of a downstream warning that they issue here. So we'll be monitoring this storm over here towards the Interstate 45 corridor. That's going to be between Buffalo and Centerville, and that's going to be moving in an eastward direction. So those of you who live here in the Crockett area, Latexo, Grapeland, that is going to be moving in your direction here probably over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. So we'll be monitoring this storm very carefully as it continues to push off to the east. Again, not currently storming here in portions of Houston County. The storm is still well to the west, but this is just out of abundance of caution here. They've gone ahead and extended that tornado warning to include those areas here between Crockett and Palestine. So Grapeland, Latexo, all of you guys here in the northern section of Houston County included in that downstream tornado warning. So let's get back up to that tornado warning that is farther to the north up here in the Tyler area for you. And it does show that things are certainly picking up around the Berryville area. And that is going to be, again, moving in the general direction of the Tyler area here over the next several minutes. So things are certainly starting to get a little active here across East Texas. We'll kind of switch that velocity view for you, and that's going to be your area of concern right there around Frankston, Coffeyville, Berryville, moving again in that general direction of Tyler. So there's a lot happening. It's happened very quickly. We went from no tornado warnings to now 2 tornado warnings within a matter of just a few minutes. So this is pretty much what we're going to be dealing with today. We're going to be, of course, seeing lots in the way of this activity as we go through the day. Okay, we just got a new downstream tornado warning. So you're likely going to be starting to hear those sirens in the Tyler area. So we are likely going to start to hear those sirens here in Smith County, and this is just a downstream warning because of this area of rotation right there around Frankston, Berryville, moving on off to the east. So those of you in the city of Tyler, again, you're now under this tornado warning. So as we check out what we're seeing here on your reflectivity, and we'll zoom in and show you, absolutely, we definitely do have that area of rotation right there around Coffee City. Put on that base velocity for you and zoom in right there around Frankston. That is absolutely where we're going to be seeing that best signature here. So we'll kind of circle that for you and show you. And then we will look at the debris signature to see if we have any of that. And currently not really looking at much in the way of any debris signature. So that is some good news, but certainly that potential is there for at least a tornado to form. One is not exactly confirmed, but we could see one spin up at any point. So certainly want to be taking shelter. If you live in Smith County now, you are under that tornado warning. Also, still including portions of Henderson and Anderson counties. Again, this is going to be moving just like this. So Bullard over towards Flint, all of you guys are going to be included in that tornado warning, and we will kind of zoom out a little bit to show you just who is included. So Tyler, this kind of bisects the city here, this tornado warning does. So that will include about the southern half of the city of Tyler down towards Chapel Hill, White House, Flint, Bullard. Likely, again, hearing sirens across portions of Smith County, and we'll likely continue to see this signature move into portions of Smith County. So things are certainly getting active here across East Texas, as we feared would happen later on today. And unfortunately, it does look like things have finally come to fruition in terms of a tornado warning being issued here for the city of Tyler. So we are going to be continuing to monitor this as we go through the next several minutes, and we'll continue, of course, to keep you updated here. This is that tornado warning, including the city of Tyler. Again, those of you who live in Tyler, Smith County, over towards Anderson and Henderson counties, you are likely hearing those sirens right now. That includes Bullard, down Highway 69 over towards Noonday, Dogwood City, Coffee City, and the circulation is going to be right there. That's where the best area of rotation is located. It's a little ambiguous as we're kind of far from the radar. The radar picture at this point, the radar beam is kind of shooting high up, so we're not getting the best look at what's happening in the lowest levels, but the National Weather Service has enough confidence to have issued a tornado warning, so looks like the rotation is certainly there and good enough for us to have that tornado warning issued. Again, right here, so we're going to circle that for you and show you that's going to be moving off in an east-northeasterly direction, eventually getting into the Highway 69 corridor, potentially into the southern portion of the city of Tyler. And again, this isn't the only game in town. We also have that tornado warning down across Houston County, and this is not of greatest concern right now because the tornado threat is still well off to the west. So this is just kind of that downstream warning. So this is going to be over into the Interstate 45 corridor, Buffalo towards Corinth, and then that's the area right there that you're going to be concerned for seeing the potential of a tornado, and that's going to be moving in, again, an east-northeasterly direction, eventually getting into Houston County. So Grapeland, Latexo, again, just probably north of the city of Crockett, you're going to be seeing some of that activity here within the next probably 15 to 20 minutes or so. But of course, of greatest concern right now with that potential for a tornado is going to be that storm getting into the Tyler area. So we're going to be monitoring this for you over the next several minutes as things have certainly escalated kind of fast here across East Texas. Here's a look at what we're seeing. That tornado warning for Smith County until 2:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So it is definitely going to be in effect for a little while. We're hearing those sirens out there in Tyler right now. That includes the city of Tyler down towards Bullard, Noonday, Flint, Dogwood City, Coffee City. All of you guys are in that tornado warning, and we are going to certainly continue to see some of this activity as it moves off to the east-northeast. Again, includes the southern portion of the city of Tyler. So things are getting pretty active here across East Texas, unfortunately, as we feared would happen. And even downstream, Chapel Hill, White House, you are all included in this. And again, the radar beam is not giving us the best look at this tornado warning right now, or at least the rotation, just because the beam is kind of shooting so far up. And we do definitely see some shear here, so that's going to be where we're going to be concerned about that couplet of that tornado warning, the rotation that's kind of prompting that warning. But again, it's going to be right here just between Noonday and Berryville, likely over Lake Palestine right now. So those of you who live in that general vicinity, you are certainly going to want to be taking this very seriously. lowest level interior portion of your home or whatever building you're in, a closet or bathroom, make sure that it has no windows. That's going to be your best bet with this, and it's moving pretty slowly off to the east at about 40 miles per hour or so. Well, not slowly, but certainly not as fast as some of those storms that we've had across East Texas. And so here's some of those places that we see that are going to be impacted. Noonday around 143 Flint, 144 Bullard, 145 Antioch, 151. So this is moving again east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour or so. Eventually Liberty City, Gladewater. This is likely going to stay to the south of the Winona area. And as we check out again some of those locations impacted, it looks like the area of greatest concern is going to be between Tyler and Bullard. And again, lots of lightning with this storm as well. So regardless of whether or not you get a tornado or damaging winds, you're going to have lots of heavy rain, lightning, certainly something that is going to be a nuisance out there for you. Again, sirens are sounding in portions of Smith County this afternoon, as we do have a tornado warning in effect until 2:15 p.m. So if you are just joining us, again, a tornado warning has been issued for portions of Smith County until 2:15 p.m. That does now include portions of the northern portion of Cherokee County, as well as over into the southern portion of Henderson County, and then the far northern portion of Anderson County. So things are very active here across East Texas. We have seen this really escalate quite a bit within the last several minutes. So we're going to continue to monitor this, of course, for you as we go through the next several minutes. Again, kind of ambiguous in terms of where exactly that rotation is located, but the National Weather Service pretty confident in issuing a tornado warning. So again, that's going to be Dogwood City, Coffee City, Berryville. That's going to be your greatest concern for where this is going to be located, and it's going to be moving again off into the east-northeasterly direction. So we've kind of circled that for you right here. This is going to be where we're seeing some of that activity. Dogwood City, Coffee City, right around the Lake Palestine area. So things are getting very active here across East Texas. We're going to continue to see this move off to the east-northeast over the next several minutes, and then we will, of course, be watching for maybe downstream warnings across portions of East Texas. And then again, this is not the only game in town. We've got more in the way of tornado warnings down across portions of Houston County. That is going to be down there towards Grapeland, Latexo. So things are getting very active here across East Texas very quickly, as we have seen these tornado warnings really pop up quite quickly here within the last 15 minutes or so. And that's just a testament to just how fast things can really escalate. We were dealing with a little bit of activity in terms of severe thunderstorm warnings, but then we kind of saw those de-escalate a little bit, and then we saw more in the way of activity with that tornado warning being issued for portions of Henderson County into portions of Anderson County, and then looking now into Cherokee and Smith County. So the southern portion of Tyler is going to be within that tornado warning, and we are going to again continue to follow this as it moves off to the east. So those of you who live right there around the Dogwood City area, Coffee City, Berryville, Frankston, that is where we're seeing that rotation right now, and it's going to continue to move off in an east-northeasterly direction here over the next several minutes. So it's going to be right here that we're seeing that best rotation. Again, this is high up in the atmosphere that the radar beam is shooting, but it's going to continue to move like this. So likely south of the city of Tyler, that's going to be your greatest concern. Maybe down there towards the Cumberland Village, that portion of Tyler likely going to have the greatest concern for some of that rotation moving close to you. And then as we check out farther down to the south, we are going to be looking at Bullard, the Bullard area. That is going to be continuing to be something that we're going to be watching. And we're also currently streaming on KTBB right now. So you can listen to us on your radio as well as looking on your TV, of course. And again, so tornado warning in effect for portions of East Texas. That does include the southern portion of the city of Tyler. You are likely hearing those sirens out there across portions of Smith County. So things have gotten very active very quickly, and this is going to continue to move move off in that east-northeasterly direction toward the Highway 69 corridor, Bullard, Flint, Noonday, all of you guys included in that. And then farther off to the east, White House, you are included in that warning as well. And then also over towards Coffee City, Berryville, looks like the greatest concern has passed you a little farther to the east. So it looks like that is going to be where we're going to be continuing to see some heavy rainfall. But as far as the tornado risk, that is going to be a little farther to the east now of the Lake Palestine area, finally starting to move into those southern portions of Smith County, eventually getting over into the areas around Flint, and then eventually White House and Chapel Hill on the southern side of the city of Tyler. That does again include the city of Tyler, and we are continuing to monitor this, and we will continue, of course, to keep you monitoring that as we go through the next several minutes. Again, this is a tornado warning if you're just joining us for Smith County, in effect until 2:15 this afternoon, located right here in the southern portion of Smith County. So right now, this is not in the city of Tyler. The greatest concern is going to be down there to the southern portion of Smith County. So that's going to include, again, the Flint area, Bullard, Highway 69 right there. If you're going out of Tyler around Toll 49 and southward, that's where you're going to have the greatest risk for seeing a potential tornado. Now, nothing is screaming to me that we have a tornado on the ground, but certainly the potential is there for us to have at least one spin up at any point. So we will continue to see this likely kind of fluctuate in intensity as it moves off to the east over the next several minutes. Flint, Bullard, Highway 69, south of the loop of the Toll 49 loop, and then over towards the areas around White House, and eventually maybe even as far north as Chapel Hill. So that's going to be the greatest concern. And again, this isn't the only tornado warning we have. We also have that one down in portions of Houston County that we are going to continue to monitor as we look down at that tornado warning. The greatest issue is still a little bit,
Do me a favor, step off the screen real quick. I'm going to fix something. And just to give you a break, you're doing a great job. So as he mentioned, we've got 2 tornado warnings in effect for Houston County and then the one in Smith County. Now, the danger itself in Smith County has passed Highway 155. That's where you go to Pine Cove. That's where you go, you know, across the Lake Palestine Bridge there as you get into Henderson County, and you go to some stores there in Henderson County down the way to Frankston. But the most dangerous part of the storm is going to be just to the west of Highway 69. And as Braden has been mentioning, this is between radar sites, so we can still see the storm. There's no doubt about that. But I want everybody in the city limits of Bullard to seek shelter. If you live in the Flint and Grisham area, New Hope, Bullard, Antioch, White House, Blackjack, Omen, along Lake Tyler West, Lake Tyler East, into the community of Troop, I want everybody seeking shelter. We do not have a confirmed tornado at this time. This is just a radar indicated tornado, but I do want to zoom out real quick and I want to show you what's happening. I'm going to put this in play real fast, and as you can see, we've got a linear complex of storms here, and anytime you have that, you usually have 2 main threats of severe weather. Your first threat is going to be the threat of damaging wind gust. The second threat is going to be the threat of these embedded tornadoes. So with these tornadoes, this is not a scenario that plays out where you would be able to see the tornado on the ground, because look at all of this rain here extending from just to the north of Jacksonville into southern Smith County and into central and northern Smith County. This is all very, very heavy rain, so you're not going to be able to see much with the storm here. So this is not one of those cases where you would have the most photogenic thunderstorms. You're going to see these isolated spin-up tornadoes, which can do a lot of damage, and you're going to want to be careful with these storms. You're going to want to be inside, let these storms pass, because the back edge of the storms right now are moving through Van Zant and Henderson County. And, you know, the most dangerous part of these storms right now are in southern Smith County. So if you live in White House, Bullard, make sure you seek shelter. We don't have a lot of basements. I mean, you'd be considered lucky if you have a basement here in East Texas, but it's the most interior room of your house. It's usually a pantry or a bathroom. just make sure you don't have any windows, exterior walls. Make sure you have as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. But the leading edge of the storm is right along Highway 69 near Bullard and New Hope, so keeping an eye on that. I don't want anybody driving along Highway 69 or the Southern Loop, really anywhere in Tyler, just because we've got a lot of rain. This is just a nasty storm and a dangerous storm to be driving in. But let me go ahead and pause this here real quick. And as you can see, we're going to put a storm track on it, and we'll track it from the leading edge of the storm. I would think the possible tornado would just be behind that leading edge right there. And as you can see, we'll track this off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. It's moving at 40, so subtract a little bit of time from this storm. It's very close to White House. You need to be in shelter right now. Alberta, 151, Blackjack, 154, Chapel Hill, 2 o'clock, Omen, 204, Sinclair City, 209, ARP, 209, Browning, 214, Douglas, 214. So again, this is moving through southern Smith County. It is about to cross Highway 69. If we don't have a tornado, we likely have some very strong winds. So let me go ahead and put the storm relative velocity on here. And the most dangerous part of the storm looks like it has now crossed Highway 69. I'm going to circle it right here. Broad mid-level rotation has crossed Highway 69 now, and it is moving into southeastern Smith County. So Lake Tyler West, that's about right here. Lake Tyler East, that's about right here. No driving along Highway 64 for at least the next 30 minutes, but this possible tornado is going to be very close. If you live in Copeland, White House, Blackjack, Chapel Hill, Omen, Sinclair City, Troop, anywhere in extreme northern Cherokee County, I want you seeking shelter. This is moving past the Flint and Grisham vicinity and pushing off to the east. So we're going to watch this very carefully. Again, I'm not really seeing a tight couplet of rotation. So as Braden has been mentioning, it doesn't look like we've got a tornado on the ground. That is not our suspicion, but our suspicion is that one could form at any time. So we're looking out for that possibility. We are seeing what's happening with the National Weather Service. They've got some storm spotters on this. We've got some of the greatest storm spotters in the state of Texas that are watching this storm, and they will let us know if they do see a touchdown of a tornado. But again, this is pushed to the east, and as we look at the radar loop over just the last few frames, we'll show you, and this really spun up in Henderson County. National Weather Service office in Fort Worth, they initially issued this warning, and then it crossed into southern Smith County, and it looks like, yeah, it's getting a little tighter, so I'm a little more concerned. Right there at about Antioch, it looks like this thing is cycled and it is beginning to wrap up just a little bit. Not the strongest rotation by any stretch of the imagination, but typically with these linear complexes of storms, when the storms are in the line, you will see these storms spin up very quickly. So you need to keep your wits about you, even if you are not under a warning, because these rotations, they can pop out of anywhere. But what has prompted this warning is the rotation that we have right around Antioch. So you've got the greens. These are the winds moving towards the Shreveport radar site. And then you've got the reds moving away from the Shreveport radar site. It's detecting raindrops in that vicinity, and that's where we do have the possible tornado. So it's now to the east of Highway 69, White House, Blackjack, Chapel Hill, Omen, Sinclair City, the Lake Tyler West, Lake Tyler East, anywhere along Lake Tyler. Need to be seeking shelter right now. No driving along Highway 110, no driving along Highway 64 coming out of southeast Tyler over the next several minutes, because we do have a dangerous storm that continues to make its rounds through the area. Let me go ahead and check out some of our Barron products. Again, we've got some very good software that we like to use to detect the storm in your area and see where the most dangerous part of it is. So we're going to take a look at some of those severe weather threats, and it's not really picking up on any wind threats or rotation threats right now, so at least that's some good news. The pinks you see on your screen, those are just some very small hail, maybe up to the size of peas, and then we do have that heavy rain threat a little further off to the east. So not really detecting any severe weather threats here in southern Smith County, but as we look at the shear rate, that is the change in the shear with height there. And what we are seeing is a bit of a turning of the winds, which doesn't surprise me. And that would indicate where we do have that possible tornado. So again, right around Antioch and White House, this is where that rotation is. I haven't heard anything from the National Weather Service to say that we do have a tornado on the ground. It's certainly a threat, especially with what we're seeing on radar. But if you are in this tornado warning polygon, which does include, from about South Tyler down to the Smith-Cherokee County line. Let's go ahead and get those scribbles off of there. But down to the Smith-Cherokee County line, this is where we are concerned. I'm no longer concerned with areas to the west of Highway 155. Flint, New Hope, Bullard, you're seeing some very heavy rainfall and some very strong winds. I would stay in your shelter, but I do think the threat of a tornado has passed you now. If you live along Highway 155 going into Coffee City and Dogwood City on the west side of Lake Palestine, your tornado threat is over for now. And then further off to the east, where we do have Lake Tyler West and Lake Tyler East, you can see them on the screen there. I need you in your storm shelter because this possible tornado is heading in your direction. Troop, Sinclair City. ARP, you're technically out of the polygon, but I would be prepared in ARP. I would make sure you are getting ready to seek shelter, and I would go ahead and seek shelter regardless, just based on the rotation that we have in the region. So there's your storm relative velocity. Not quite as intense, but it looks like it is right on top of White House. To the west of White House there, there's the intersection there and White House, the road that goes to Flint and Highway 110, I believe. That's where this possible rotation is going to be. It's going to be very close to White House High School, and it is going to cross the highway there and move towards the lakes. So that's where we do have the possible rotation. It is to the southeast of Tyler now. I don't expect that we will see any sort of tornado threat in South Tyler. It looks like that threat is beginning to diminish. So, as long as we can keep this tornado out of the most populated areas, that would be good news. But it is not good news, the fact that we do have this possible rotation in the community of White House, Antioch, and Copeland. So we're keeping a close eye on that. This is not the only warning we have in the area. Let's flip this back to reflectivity. What we are seeing right now is this line that was very strong in West Texas. There's no doubt about that. It was very strong. It moved through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it increased its strength as it moved over East Texas because we had a more favorable environment to develop these showers and thunderstorms. So these storms have really ramped up as they move through East Texas, and you can see that by the radar loop. I mean, my goodness, widespread rain. We've got flash flood warnings. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings. And then further off to the east there in northern Houston County between Crockett and Grapeland, we also have a tornado warning. And we've been mentioning this for a little while now. This is actually one of the first warnings we got today. And as we look at the storm relative velocity, which is where we can pick out that possible couplet, it looks like, let me get a different angle on this real quick from the Fort Hood radar site. And what we are seeing is that possible rotation about in this vicinity. So there is the Houston County Lake. There's Highway 19, I believe. It's to the west of Highway 19. It's going to be very close to the Trinity River, and it's going to be very close to the Anderson and Houston County line. That's where that possible rotation is. We don't have any confirmation that anything has touched down here, but this is going to move right along the Houston and Anderson County line. It likely misses the Houston County Lake to the north, but it will eventually cross Highway 19 between Elkhart and Grapeland here within the next few minutes. Let's go ahead and put a storm track on this on the leading edge of that storm. And what you will notice is this thing is moving at a pretty good clip. So you're probably going to see a bout of some heavy rain here. But as we move this off to the east, and we'll move it at about 40 miles per hour. We'll get more estimates on how fast this thing is moving here in just a second. But there are the immediate arrival times. We've got people that view us from Grapeland. 2:02 is the arrival time for this potential storm. El Caney, 2:04. Mound City, 2:04. Priscilla, 2:06. So very close to the Anderson-Houston County line. If you're in the path of this storm from Latexo up to Grapeland to the north of Crockett, you're going to want to seek shelter around the Houston County Lake vicinity. Please take your tornado precautions, get into a safe place, because we do have this storm that continues to move off to the east at a very quick clip. So let me go ahead and step off screen, and I do want to see if we do have anything from the National Weather Service. A couple of notes that we haven't told you about yet. So the tornado watch has been issued, or the area of the tornado watch has been expanded here. Rusk, Gregg, Shelby, Panola, Cherokee, Smith, Nacogdoches, and Harrison counties now under a tornado watch, and it is going to go until, let's see, until 4 o'clock. So this tornado watch for storms that are capable of producing tornadoes will go, let me correct that real quick, that is until 9 o'clock. So new tornado watch that includes Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Shelby, Gregg, Panola, Smith, Harrison, Rusk County, goes until 9 o'clock this evening for storms that will be capable of producing tornadoes. And as I look at these notes, the National Weather Service saying rotation on the tornado-warned storm in Smith and northern Cherokee County is near Bullard. We're not seeing any debris on radar, and the warning is probably going to be trimmed, which it already has been trimmed. So we're watching that, and then from that Houston County storm, as I read off these notes here real quick, most favorable circulation is skirting along the far northwestern edge of the county, so we'll likely let this one expire. What they're probably going to do with this storm is they're going to let the tornado warning expire, but they're going to reissue that severe thunderstorm warning, which it looks like they've already had, and that severe thunderstorm warning, which will replace the tornado warning, that goes until 2:30. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail are a possibility. So we're keeping an eye on that one real closely. But the main point of concern is this potential rotation in northern or southern Smith County, rather. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this one as it continues to push slowly off to the east-northeast. And as we look at the storm, let me zoom in here real quick. Lots of heavy rain, no doubt about that. Lots of heavy rain falling in the city of Tyler. Not really seeing anything that spells tornado on our tower cams, but I mean, this is an intense storm that continues to move off to the east. It looks like we do have an area of enhanced winds that are moving off to the east here. This is going to be in the Blackjack and Antioch area. Let me draw a better circle there. So very close to the lakes now as this thing continues to push off to the east. And let me query this out. We'll show you how strong some of these potential winds are. Look at that, 68 miles per hour, very close to Highway 110 near the Troop vicinity. And as you get a little closer to Sinclair City, Oman, and Arp. So these are very strong winds, and we will continue to watch this very carefully. Braden, are you ready over there for some analysis? Or yeah, okay. All right, so we are going to toss it over to Braden Seo. He has been doing a great job. He's been on top of these warnings since earlier this afternoon, so I'll go ahead and send it to him for a little bit of analysis on these storms. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Carson. And we do still have, of course, that tornado warning that is in effect for portions of Smith County. And we do see that it includes places from basically just inside the loop here in Tyler. But the really the threat is going to be down here towards the White House, between White House and Troop, whereas it doesn't really look much like a rotational couplet anymore. It kind of looks like the storm is gusting out. So more of a damaging
damaging wind threat more than anything now as you get over into the ARP area. So that's where we're going to have the greatest risk for some of those damaging wind gusts. And still, the tornado warning is in effect, so you want to be taking that seriously. Of course, as we still have that warning, of course, we don't issue those warnings, or the National Weather Service doesn't issue those warnings for no reason. Definitely still have that warning here across portions of East Texas, and this is including places like Troop, White House, Chapel Hill, but it looks like the greatest issue is going to be now moving on the outside of that polygon. So we're right here at the edge of that tornado warning polygon, and it's going to start to move over into the vicinity of ARP with some of those damaging winds. Now, again, we haven't had a confirmed tornado, but definitely some strong winds associated with this storm at the very least. So we can't rule out even some wind damage. The ground is saturated. We've had a lot of rain over the past several days. Last week, this week, things are definitely saturated out there, and we're going to continue to monitor these gusty winds because it's not going to take much for some of those trees to come tumbling down with all of the rain that we've seen. The ground is just so saturated that it wouldn't take much to get some of those trees to fall. But we still do have that tornado warning in effect for portions of Smith County, and that is going to go until about 2:15, I believe, and also the northern, really just the northern sliver of Cherokee County still left in that warning, and this is going to be east now, well to the east of the Highway 69 corridor, getting over to the area near ARP. And it looks like, again, at least the rotational signature is a lot less in terms of intensity than certainly what we had earlier. We had, if you follow this back, you can see we had a much tighter area of rotation that moved over the Lake Palestine area and then a little farther to the east. And we've seen that kind of broaden out. So when that happens, we start to lose that tornado threat, but not the damage threat, as those winds can be just as damaging as a tornado. So we, again, don't have any confirmed tornado, but certainly still have that potential for some very gusty winds. And Carson, I believe you have an update.
Yes, sir. So they just issued another severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to come for southwestern Rusk, northwestern Nacogdoches, and Cherokee County in northeastern Texas. So let me zoom that out for you, Braden. And as you can see, that's the polygon that just populated there. So 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible, and it's moving off to the east at 45 miles per hour. And this goes until 3 o'clock this evening. So it will have the tornado possible tag on it, but no tornado warning. But the threat you have been talking about with the damaging winds of up to 70 miles per hour, that is going to be the main threat with this storm.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we do have that potential for some damaging winds, and with all the rain that we've seen not only today but last week, these trees are really going to be susceptible to toppling over because of just how saturated the grounds are, and some of those shallow rooted trees especially susceptible to that. But here's that tornado warning, still including the southeastern portion of Smith County and just a northern sliver of Cherokee County. But as we've been mentioning, it looks like things are really winding down in terms of any immediate tornado threats. So this warning will likely be allowed to expire, and we'll be left with more of a damaging wind threat than anything. Certainly not looking at any confirmation of a tornado at this point in time. That's not to say we didn't have one back when that rotation was a little bit tighter. We haven't seen any damage reports come across any of the chats or anything, but certainly have been monitoring this for quite a while now. I believe around 30 minutes or so that we've been watching this all the way back into portions of Henderson and northern Anderson counties, and then that moved across the Highway 69 corridor and is now to the east of the city of White House over towards the ARP area and really broadened out. So still, because we have that tornado warning, if you live within that polygon, you're going to want to stay in shelter until we can give you that all clear once the warning has expired. But still, just for a few more minutes, have that tornado warning, and we'll likely see if the National Weather Service is going to either cancel it or allow it to expire. Yeah, Carson.
All right, so just going through some things from my Facebook page. The tornado sirens sounded in Troop about 23 minutes ago, and they just issued another severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to go until 3 o'clock, and it is a wide-reaching warning. So bear with me. Southeastern Smith County, western Harrison County, northwestern Panola, northern Rusk, Gregg County, and north central Cherokee County until 3 o'clock. Main hazards will be of 70-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So Braden has been saying that this is turning more into a wind threat. He is exactly on the money there, and this is moving quickly. It is moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour. While this is not a tornado warning, it does have the tag tornado possible. So we do have some broad rotation in this storm, but the main threat is going to be for those 70-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay, so thank you for that, Carson. Again, we do have lots of active warnings out there. One tornado warning still in effect for, again, that northern sliver of Cherokee County into that southern portion of Smith County, but the area of concern is now moving out of that polygon, and they've issued a downstream severe thunderstorm warning, meaning that they're likely not going to extend that tornado warning. So that is some good news for that at least, but that's not to say the danger is over. We still have those severe thunderstorm warnings, which can pose just as much of a danger as a tornado, with some of those straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, which is what these warnings are for. So as you can see here in the velocity, we've got lots of these blue colors here. That means winds of potentially up to 70 miles per hour moving through the Palestine, Elkhart areas, getting ready to move into the Jacksonville area as well. So things are definitely still active, regardless of whether or not that tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire or not. We're still going to have severe weather here across portions of East Texas. And this is what is left of that couplet. You can see it kind of gusted out a little bit, but when we say gusted out, these are severe level winds, 63-mile-per-hour winds indicated here just to the south of ARP. So if you live over here in that vicinity, in the eastern side of Smith County into the western portion of Rusk County, at that point, you're going to be seeing these potentially damaging winds moving in your direction as this area of what is left of that rotation continues to move on off to the east. So Highway 64 is right here, and that's going to be moving in that easterly direction just to the south of the city of ARP. That is where we have those greatest risk for some damaging winds out there as of now. So the tornado risk has kind of lessened for now, but it's not completely gone. We could still see some more spin-ups as we go through the next several hours as these storms continue to push off to the east. But for now, it looks like things have finally kind of calmed down a little bit in terms of a tornado risk. And I would not be surprised to see the National Weather Service cancel that tornado warning here within the next several minutes as the area has moved on off to the east. So things are definitely looking like they're going to be lesser in terms of a tornado risk here for now. But that's not to say that we couldn't see more of that. And we'll look at the speed of this is around 40 miles per hour or so off to the east. So that's going to be putting it into Kilgore around 216. That includes Henderson around 222, 226, or 222 for Henderson High School, Henderson itself 226, and then over to Longview about 233 or so. So this is going to be moving into more populated areas. Right now into more rural sections of eastern Smith County into Rusk County, but then eventually getting over into the Longview and Henderson areas. So this is more turned into a damaging wind threat rather than a tornado threat at this time. Still have that warning, but the area of concern has moved outside of the polygon, so this is going to be allowed to expire, and we will continue to keep you posted here with any additional warnings that we have. So we are going to stay with you until the National Weather Service cancels this tornado warning, still in effect until 2:15, and those severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued downstream of that, which again does include Longview. It does include Henderson. It does include Kilgore. So all of you guys that live from Overton, ARP, over to Henderson, Kilgore, Longview, and even back over into places like Marshall, you're going to be seeing some of this activity as this continues to push off to the east. So all of us today, 100% chance of rain. This is definitely coming to fruition. And unfortunately, we did get some severe weather today, and we are going to see more of that with all these severe thunderstorm warnings, very far-reaching as well. And again, these warnings are not just your run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorm warnings. They're for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which could certainly cause some damage out there in terms of those shallow-rooted trees. The grounds are saturated. That is going to allow those winds to topple some of those trees. I wouldn't be surprised if there is kind of a streak of damage here across the southern portion of Smith County, not necessarily from a tornado, but just the damaging winds because of all that rain we've gotten. Flash flood warnings are still in effect as well. So we'll put that radar into motion for you. You can see the movement of this as it continues to push on off to the east, and then that's eventually going to put it into the Longview and Henderson vicinity, especially between those two cities, and then farther on off to the east, over towards Beckville, Carthage, Marshall, and eventually over into the Shreveport area. So flash flood warnings still in effect. Lots of very heavy rain, lightning associated with this activity, but the tornado threat has really started to come down for now. So some good news there. Still want to take these seriously. Get in an interior room in your home away from windows, because 70-mile-per-hour winds is not something to mess around with. That can cause some serious damage, especially in East Texas, where as you know, we've got all these trees out there, and it doesn't take much to see some of those topple over, especially with all the rainfall we've seen. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings extending well out ahead of this, well over into Harrison County. So Marshall, you're still probably an hour or so away from seeing these storms move into your city, but they're going to be knocking on your door here before too much longer. Again, moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour or so. Lots of heavy rain, lots of lightning, and we'll see maybe some hail and, of course, those damaging winds with this storm as well. And this isn't the only game in town either. We've got those storms stretching all the way down into deep East Texas, but fortunately, again, the tornado risk has really lessened. So once that warning has expired, we will be able to get you back to that regularly scheduled programming, but we're going to stay with you until they allow that warning to expire. And then those severe thunderstorm warnings are going to continue for the next several minutes, likely going to see those warnings extended all the way to the Texas-Louisiana border. So things are going to continue to be active as we go through the day today, and we will keep you posted. We'll be right here should another warning be issued for us across portions of East Texas. Flash flooding is also going to be a risk. We've been talking about all that rainfall that we've been seeing, and that's going to lead to the potential for some flash flooding. Unfortunately, we've already seen some of that in the Tyler area because of all the rain that we saw last week, and now we're adding more very heavy rainfall on top of that, which is going to lead to definitely some potential for ponding on the roadways and then just flash flooding in general. So always a good rule of thumb to remember: turn around, don't drown. Definitely don't want to drive through those flooded roadways. And for now, the tornado threat has really lessened, and I'll send it back over to our chief meteorologist Carson Vickroy for more.
Braden, let me know, and folks in my ear, I don't hear you. I think there's something there. I think there's an issue with the IFB. So let Braden know when we go back to regular programming, and give him the thumbs up. And we will do that. But a couple of concerns. These are dangerous storms. There's no doubt about it. A meteorologist, Braden Seo, he has been talking about this. These aren't normal run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorm warnings. These are intense thunderstorms. And as we look at the reflectivity, we do have some very strong winds moving into the Rusk Smith County line, or at least the border of Rusk and Smith County, into northwestern Rusk County there. And that's where the most dangerous part of the storm is. I've been looking at the storm relative velocity, which the velocity, what we mean by that is the speed of the wind. So we do have some greens and reds. It's very broad, but if they were to issue another tornado warning, we are likely to see it for this area right here. It's to the north of New London. It's over the Overton area. So this is an area that we are going to be watching with care over the next few minutes. Possible rotation. It's moving into Overton as we speak, and it's moving off to the north and to the northeast. But again, it's not enough to warrant a tornado warning. But as Braden has mentioned, I would seek shelter anyway because these are intense storms. These are scary storms. So we're going to be watching these with care over the next few minutes. But let's give you a radar reset, and we'll show you exactly what's happening. I mean, this is a very intense line of thunderstorms that continues to move through. And at this time of year, this is fairly common. You know, you go into April and May, especially over the last couple of years, we have seen not necessarily big time tornado threats, but big time wind producing thunderstorms. And we see lots of power outages with these storms as they move through. And this has certainly been the case. So that tornado warning, it should go off the map here within the next few seconds because we are now at 2:15, so we will wait for that. But my main concern right now is damaging winds because you'll notice we do have a bowing segment, and anytime you see that storm kind of stand out like that, that is where we do have the potential of intense winds. So we're keeping a close eye on these storms. We're also keeping a close eye on storms further off to the south and to the west. Several severe thunderstorm warnings. We will be keeping you updated on the app, and for now we will send it back to regular programming. But if a new tornado warning is issued, we will be right here watching it for you guys.